Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody is staying warm because it's even cold here in North Kakalaki, for sure. All right, I just got done sharing this around. Let's see what we've got here. Ba-dum-bum. So if you come in, please let me know that you're here and say hello. All right, I'm setting this here so I can see it. If you're watching this on replay, put hashtag replay so I know that you're here. If any of this moves you, if it helps you, let me know. We are actually today on the last chapter of the Liza Turkhurst Embrace book, 100 devotions to know God is holding you close. This was a gift to me right before, probably months before I went in for my surgery on my kidney. And so I've been sharing this with so many of you guys. Life is not always easy, and business is definitely not always easy, and lately has not been easy. But I think the one thing that has kept me grounded, whether it's family or whether it's life instances or whether it's finances or business or friendships or sickness or losses, whatever it is, it seems like the only thing that is absolutely consistent in my life is God. So I took it upon myself almost 2 years ago now to start sharing some of these devotionals that really helped me. For some of you, you're like, yeah, you've been following this every single week, and you very much are in tune with how would I handle anything without God, right? I don't know how people do it. Some people will go, oh, well, I believe in a greater power. Well, I do too. It's just mine. His name is Jesus. Um, and I just keep sharing with you guys because for those of you who have been affected by bad Christians or bad churches in your life, there is hope out there. You can't let bad experiences, any of that, you can't let that let you believe that that God is a bad God. Hey Quentin, good morning. Thanks for being on. Um, that's hard because when you've been hurt, rather maybe it was something growing up and your parents made you go to church, or you had somebody tell you that you were a horrible person because you got a tattoo, that you were a horrible person because of the music that you listened to, maybe the clothes that you wore. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I know that I've had a little bit of all of that in my life. That's the truth. I have had a little bit. People judge people. I don't think we're ever going to get away from that. I think that I wish we would. And by the way, I wish I didn't do it either. I don't think I do it quite as much as I used to. But I was really a judgy Judy for a long time. I was. And most of the time, judging people who said that they loved God, who said that, what they believed and what they didn't, but yet their own skeletons in their own closets. It just, it's hard when you see people fall off the pedestals that we put them on, that we put them on. So I'm hoping that this is going to reach some people, that you understand that we are in a bad world, but we have a good God. We do. We have a good God, and I know a lot of times we don't always understand why things turn out the way they do. And I think sometimes it's really easy to blame God. You know how I know that? Because I've done it. I've done it in my life, and it hasn't really gotten me anywhere but in a worse place. Um, but now I am doing my best to keep God in the center of my life, the center of everything I do. Rather, I've been asking God 100%. You know, we are struggling right now in our business, and I have been asking God, is this where you want me? Is this where you want me to be? Is this where you want me to stay? If there's something else out there that you feel like I am more beneficial in, please show me. Show me. I mean, knock me over the head. Knock me over the head and let me know. As of this point, no. What's funny is I absolutely love what I do, but I have figured out through watching life that just like you can get out of a bad marriage, um, just like you can get out of, you have to sometimes love people in your family from over there. You know, it doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means that sometimes they can't be in your face, because in your face is not good for you, even if they carry the same DNA. That's just the truth. You just have to know. Hey, Tammy, good to see you. Um, I believe that this journey, you don't always get it right. I believe that we fall down a lot. Hi, Carolyn. Good to see you. I believe that sometimes we give up. We give up before we're supposed to. Sometimes when things get hard, it's just easy just to say, okay, this isn't for me. I'm done. I have to tell you, life is not easy, and I don't really think it's ever meant to be easy. I don't think we were called to an easy life, and I know for me, as much as I hate the hard stuff, getting through the hard stuff is what has made me better, and it also is what has brought me closer to God, for sure. Um, the devotion that we're gonna hi Marion, good to see you, friend. The devotion that I'm gonna read to you this morning really resonated with me. I am somebody, and a lot of you have just been following me recently, maybe in the last couple of years, maybe the last 10 years. I mean, we have even in my onward group, we are 10 years old in there, but people knew me before then, of course, and there are people who've known me my whole life. um but what I have found was nobody beat me up better than myself. Hi, Paula. Good to see you. Nobody. Nobody has ever beat me up. And I've had a lot of people beat me up. Hi, Raj. Good to see you, friend. I've had a lot of people say what they wanted to say. I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm not good. I've had a lot of people prey on my insecurities, and boy, have there been a lot of them, right? But let me tell you who's the toughest on me. I am the toughest on me. I am the person that when there is something to see that is bad, I'm always going to tell you what's bad about me before you have a chance to tell me. Do you know what that comes from? That comes from a childhood, that comes from a part of life where everybody who found something displeasing about me, they taught me how to be displeased about it in my own journey. And how sad that is that here I sit at 60 years old, and I can tell you that whatever language, whatever the speech is, whatever the message is that I am feeding to myself, that is what is sticking with me. I need you to know that when life is hard and things are crazy with your kids, or your relationship with your kids, or maybe with your parents, maybe with your significant other, maybe with your husband, your wife, whatever that looks like, maybe with your boss at work, no matter what any of that looks like, I need you to know that whatever it is that you are telling yourself, you are going to own that. If you are telling yourself that you are not worthy, you might as well live it. You might as well live that statement, because I'm telling you right now, right now, I'm telling you that it's what you tell yourself. Training you, you're good, my friend. I love you, Roger. Oh, hey, Richard. One of my husband's friends is on here this morning. Good to see you, friend. Hi, Marlene. Good to see you. So what I'm telling you is you have to watch the message. You know, when somebody dies, and believe me, I have had many deaths. I have had many losses in my life, going back as far as when I was 16 years old. I lost my mom to cancer. Now, I'm not the only one that's happened to. I'm not the only one who when they were in these impressionable years, they lost their mom. Hey, Janetta, good to see you. I'm not the only person that's happened to. But I can tell you that impacted me greatly, greatly. If you tell yourself, and you know what's funny about social media? I read this 100 times a day. When you tell yourself, or you're typing it out, or you are putting it on social media, or you are writing it out in your journal, if you are telling yourself, you cannot get through this. I cannot get through the loss of my mom. I cannot not get over it. Let's be clear. We're not talking about getting over it. My mama died when I was 16. I am 60. I don't think I'll ever get over it, but every single day I have to get through it. Hey, Cynthia, good to see you, babe. I am telling you that if you tell yourself, I'll never get over it, I'll never be able to live life in a productive way, I'm never going to. When you speak that into your existence, you're going to live it. You're going to live it. You need to change. You need to change that speech. You need to change how you talk to yourself. Do you know that nobody's going to beat you up worse than you? Yeah. Now, in today's generation, let me be clear. Sometimes that's the opposite. In today's generation, parents and loved ones have done a total injustice to our kids out there, and have told their kids they can do nothing wrong, that they are absolutely perfect, and I'm going to help you look perfect, and I'm going to make sure that you do get everything you want, and you're never going to have to fight for anything you want, and you're never going to fail, because I'm going to make sure that you get a trophy no matter what. This is also the flip side of it. Because I got news for you. Everybody doesn't deserve a trophy out there. Just because you signed up to play the game doesn't mean that you deserve a trophy because, I decided to be here. I don't know who decided to do that, because you're never going to fight to be the top winner when you've got people giving you trophies now. You know what I'm saying? It's just never going to happen. I want to bring you a call to freedom today. If you're that person who says, I'm just never going to be able to live life, like I did because I lost this person. I'm here to tell you life may never be the same without that person, because it is a loss. It is a loss. But what you forget is through every valley, every hard time, every dark moment, every massive thing every wrong you have done, do you know that as long as you are breathing, do you know that there is always a rise up moment waiting for you? There is always another plan that God has. God doesn't make these things happen, but my God can use anything that does happen. Cynthia says, I just lost my mom on December 28th. Cynthia, I'm so sorry, my friend. She will be missed, but I do know that I need to move on. She will always be with you. She will, Cynthia. And let me tell you how jealous I am right now of the fact that you had your mom as long as you did. Oh, girl, celebrate that. Celebrate those years. I only have 16 years to celebrate with my mom, but in those 16 years, she did leave me with so much. And by the way, she left me with things that I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. That's it. But she also left me with things that as I got older, I realized I don't want to be that person. I don't want to react that way in my marriage. I don't want to be part of the problem. It's amazing what happens. So Cynthia, all that experience that you had with her, everything that I'm sure you went through with her and that she was there for you, embrace that, my friend. And you're going to be able to dive in at sometimes the worst moments of your life and think, what would my mama have done? And sometimes it could be, oh, well, I don't think I'm supposed to do that. But other times you're going to say, I remember. And that's going to be a great thing. So, girl, mourning is part of it. And missing for the rest of your life, man, it is part of life. And you know why? Because this is all we know is what is right here. But what I don't want to see for anybody who is on here is to think that you cannot be better. That you think that you cannot move on and be better because this, or this happened to you. Because you are a part of this that you can't let go. I'm here to tell you, let go and let God. Let go and let God. And sometimes that's going to sound real easy. And other times that's going to be the hardest thing you ever did. I want to give you a call to freedom. I need to take that label maker away. Do you remember the label makers? Do you remember? Some people probably still have them. Do you remember the ones where you would turn it, Molly, M, click, click, O, click, click, L, click, click, L, click, click, Y, click, click, space, L, click, click, O, click, click, S, click, click, E, click, click, R, click, click, Molly, loser. Come on. Come on. Don't tell me that you have never, maybe not out loud, maybe not on the name maker, but don't tell me that you have never, even if it's just to yourself, said, how much of a loser can you be today, Molly? How much of a loser could you be in this moment? 17 years in a marriage, Molly. Boy, you really messed that up good, didn't you? You probably messed your kids up forever, Molly, because what you thought was good in staying kind of messed them up to say this is what you're supposed to do when the other person doesn't really have an interest to be in the marriage with me. I hate the fact that I was letting the fact that I was divorced label me as a lesser person because I was divorced. Sometimes you'll have people who want to label you. Maybe you're in your own direct sales business and maybe your business is struggling like mine is. Maybe. And you have people in your life who are ready to tell you, I told you how long ago, Molly. I told you how long ago that this shouldn't have been something. This was too risky. You shouldn't have stepped out. You shouldn't have done this. You know, we tried to offer this and we tried to offer that. Why didn't you just go hit that 9 to 5? You know what? I don't know. I just didn't feel like that's where I was led. Or maybe I was the adventurous one. Maybe I believed in the opportunity. Maybe I wanted to show everybody that I could be more than just a 9 to 5 worker, that I could work harder than any individual in the room, and I could prove myself better and worthy. And by the way, I have carried so many jobs in between this business thing, whether it was working at a doctor's office or working in a restaurant and waitressing or working at Target, and I can go on and on and on and on and on, whether it's Ubering or DoorDashing or Instacarting or whatever it is. And I can tell you that every time I took a new venture on, my job was to learn it so well that I could become the best. And when things happen like the pandemic that I could not control, I still knew that in that moment, I was giving my best. I was giving my all. And even at that point when I wasn't thinking about God at all, I have to believe that there was something that God poked his chest out and thought, there she is. That's why she's good for this business, because she gives her all. Kind of like he did when he gave his son. Call to freedom. Not letting people dictate what your label is. And above all, if you are dictating your own label, throw those negative, rotten labels away, that you are labeling yourself as a loser, as somebody who never gets it done, that you are a people pleaser, that you are an insecure mess, that you are unglued. You know, some of you may be a little unglued. That don't mean that you can't be. You can't, I mean, you can't get it right. It's okay. I feel like I'm a little unglued sometimes, you know? But that's not who I am. It's what I can be sometimes. See, there's such a difference. We have all these emotions. We have all these things that God has given us. Anger, sadness, happy, all of that stuff, right? We all have a little bit of that. But how are we going to use it to the greater good? How are we going to use it? And for me, how am I going to use the blessing of the fact that I am 60 years old and God still has a purpose for me here? And what can I do to help people see that if you're still here, God has more for you? Are you looking for it? Or is it easier just to keep the label? Is it easier just to, in my opinion, it's a little easier just to see myself as a loser and go sit on the couch and not do anything and just be a loser? Oh, you can live it? Are you going to own it? What is it that you're going to do? What is it that you want? You mean to tell me there's not something deep down inside of you that wants to be better, that doesn't want to waste the experiences you've had? And by the way, experiences that are good and bad. Because I got news for you. Hi, Donna. Good morning, sister. I have news for you. Some of the worst experiences in my life have taught me the best things in life. Now, I couldn't see it at the moment, but when I got through that valley, the lessons I've learned. Hey, Mary, good to see you. And no, God is not done with you yet, sister, for sure. You know what, Molly? I don't understand. Every time I get on here, why you always got to bring God into everything. Because here's the truth. When I was trying to do it by myself, without God, without trying to figure out why I was a hot mess sometimes, why I was a little bit unhinged and unglued sometimes, why I did feel like a failure, why I did want to give up, I got news for you. When I dug deep and decided I'm going to kind of step up and walk with him through this. Hey, Melissa, good to see you, babe. When I decided that I needed something more than what was going on in my head, when I decided that and decided to bring him on board. Because, by the way, again, my God is a very gracious and courteous God, and he ain't coming on board unless you ask him. That's what I know. Man. I want to read you a little bit of this. First of all, let's start off with this verse. Philippians 1:6. He who began a good work. Hey, Lynn, good to see you. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus, or the day that Christ comes back, or the day you die, okay, and you see Jesus. Labels are awful. They imprison us in categories that are hard to escape. Maybe you're familiar with labels too. I'm a wreck. I'm a people pleaser. I'm unglued. We talked about this. I'm an insecure mess. I'm a divorced person. Molly, I used to use drugs. Maybe I still use drugs. I don't know. There are so many things. Molly, I let other things rule me. Maybe you're a gambler and you're not an occasional gambler. Maybe you've lost the house. Literally. There are so many things that you can label yourself, and sometimes we take the mistakes in life or the losses in life and we slap a label or a permanent tattoo on ourselves that says, yes, this is who you have to be for the rest of your life. I'm telling you, that's hogwash. I'm telling you, that's a lie of the devil. I'm telling you that if you choose better, if you want better, you need to put them down the garbage disposal, not the little plastic things. Okay, we're not going to do that. You're going to break your garbage disposal. Don't do that. We need to put them down the garbage disposal of life, and you need to quit labeling yourself everything that is bad. Or how about, I'm someone who gets back up? How about, I am a child of God? How about, I don't give up? I am a fighter. How about when you cry your eyes out, you dry them up? It's okay with crying. You all right? You can cry. You can even feel sorry for yourself. But you're not allowed to unpack there, y'all. When you unpack there, you allow the devil to use every stinking thing that is bad. And you know what? You just make his job easier, because when you live with those labels that you put on yourself or you let others put on you, he doesn't even need to worry about you, because he knows that you're going to fall right back on the other side. He knows that you're so busy beating yourself up. He doesn't have to worry about you. See, he'd rather worry about me. He'd rather worry about me, the person who's always telling you, get the heck back up. I don't care that you fell off the saddle, and I don't care if we lost count of how many times. Get up. Carol, hi girlfriend. Hope you're having a good day. Praying for you every day, Carol. Every single cotton picking day. You're going to beat this. You're going to get back up, and you are going to be You're going to be a miracle. You're going to be a walking miracle, Carol. I believe it. Keep up the fight, girl. So I believe that, that he doesn't have to worry about you if you're always trashing yourself. If you're always trashing yourself, if you're always believing. And by the way, quit making excuses for you to stay and to stay in that place. I am so tired. Stop it. Aren't you tired of always giving yourself permission to stay in that dark place? To stay in that place that you are a loser? To stay in that place that you have no good to give? You're still breathing. God sees a redemption. He sees something that he can use. And by the way, most of the time, he's going to use what has defeated you. Sonia, did you just see that? Defeated. Sonia, listen to me. Most of the time, given time, God is going to use what you were feeling defeated about to raise you up and bring you the strength that you need to rise up and be able to use that example to help someone else or to make you better. Here's what Liza writes. Take my struggle with organization. Every day for months, I walked in and out of my messy closet thinking, ugh, I am so disorganized. Why can't I have a closet like so and so? I don't think she ever struggles with keeping things tidy. I'm just a mess. I labeled myself as a mess and then resigned myself to forever being a mess. Y'all remember? You remember I shared a couple of weeks ago, maybe even last week too, that my word for the year is simplify. Mine and Lee both. We are simplifying life. I'm getting ready to open up a group that is called Secondhand Treasures, From My House to Yours. And I am going to be selling things at this unbelievable price, craziness. And people are going to be able to just pay the postage and this little amount, because I realize that a lot of what I have in my life, would be great in somebody else's life. And I am holding on to stuff because I've been down in North Carolina for 4 years, and if I haven't used it yet, if I'm not done with it yet, let me tell you something. It's not going to get used unless it's a generator, right? Maybe I can hold on to the generator, but not anything else. Come on. So I'm getting ready to not just talk about simplifying my life. I'm getting ready to absolutely take action to simplify my life. I'm so excited about this. I've been getting stuff ready, went through all my Christmas stuff, went through all my Halloween stuff, and anything I did not use in the midst of doing what I did this year, it's time to let it be a secondhand treasure to somebody else and let it bless somebody else's life. Yeah. Some prisons don't require bars to keep people locked inside. Seriously. All it takes is their perception that they belong there. A soul who believes she can't leave doesn't. Let me be clear. In my first marriage, he had me so convinced that I could never survive without him. That life would be horrible, that I would fall on my face, and that he would be there to watch it every step of the way. Now look, we don't got that relationship now, okay? This is back in the day, but I need you to know that the times that I wanted to leave, the times I knew this wasn't work, the time that I knew that I was not the person he wanted to be with, the times that I knew it would be better for me and my kids, I was convinced and wore the label that without him, I could not make it. And he just raked on one of my number one fears to this day, which is finances. Finances of what are you going to make it? Can you make it? Will you be homeless? What about your boys? What is going on? I let a label and a fear that somebody else stuck on me. I let this win for far too many years. And I'm the person, I could blame him all day long, but see, I'm the one who pinned the label on myself. I'm the one who chose to believe what he said. I decided I was going to tattoo that on my being, that I was not strong enough. The girl who lost her mom at 16. The girl who didn't have her daddy's love after that. The girl who didn't have the support that she needed. The girl who was fearful but clawed her way to pay her bills every single stinking day. Before him, I let him label me. And I claimed that label until one day my label became no more. No more. I'd rather be poor and everything else that came with it. I'd rather live in my brother's basement, which I did. I'd rather have to defend my actions to my boys, which I did, and apologized while I was at it, which I did. And little did I know that life would get better. Little did I know that there was a Lee bib waiting in my future. But see, God didn't want me to see the Lee bib then. He wanted me to see that this mess I called myself, this failure that I called myself, He wanted me to see that He could mold that. That He could use every story, everything I've ever been through, that He was going to use me in the years to come to share these stories. Hey, Charlene, to share these stories to help other people realize they are not alone. That sometimes you have to go so deep into the valley and so deep into the dark that you have to believe that you are strong enough to find the glimmer of light. And my glimmer of light was reinvesting in my God. My glimmer of light was slowly, not all at once. I'm not going to lie. But I remember the first serious conversation I had had with God in a very long time was after I had moved out in the middle of the night and moved into my brother's basement. I remember sitting on those steps outside of his house and having a conversation with God that said, I don't know what you want from me, but I give. I give. I am a failure to my kids. I am a failure in life. I obviously was not good at marriage. My mom is gone. I don't have anybody to talk to about this who has any strain of knowledge. My daddy doesn't act like he loves me. So tell me, God, what do you want from me? I am open. I am open to seeing what is it that you have for me. They're going to come take my car if I don't figure out how to make a car payment. I am already working 2 jobs. What is it? What is it, God, that you're trying to tell me or take me away from or show me where I messed up again? I said, I'm ready and I'm waiting and I'm willing. And the first thing He showed me when I walked back into the house that night, as my boys were sleeping on the futon in the living room, was that I had removed them from a very bad situation. And they were warm and they were safe. And that I had a roof over my head no matter what happened. He showed me that I wasn't alone because I had a brother and a sister-in-law who said, we've got you. That was the first. And I went back to work. Little by little, the labels that I had let others put on me and the labels that I had decided to pin onto myself, little by little, I started ripping them off. People have always asked, why am I so passionate about Avon? Why am I so appreciative that Marianne Penn was the amazing representative that she was to me? Or why did I love the fact that my mom loved Avon and introduced me to it as a kid? Because Avon became 20 years ago, a part of a journey that helped me find what God already knew about me, but I had no clue. I had no clue. I had no clue that all those dark places in my life, all those things that had happened, had compounded. Bad things in the marriage, bad things before the marriage, all the labels I had put on myself would one day show me how to get to my own freedom, to the freedom that God had for me. If you're labeling yourself as a mess, don't resign yourself to forever be a mess. I found my way out of a lot of unexpected places. I believe that we are like statues. And if we allow God to, He can continue to chisel what needs to go away. And as He chisels my life each and every day, it produces a new curve, a new bend, a new reason to smile, and something else to share, because there will never be perfection for me here on earth. But every time He chisels away at me, it brings about something I never saw in myself. That is true for all of us if we let Him. I know that God wants to call us out of the darkness and out of the places we thought we would never get out of, that we would never get better, and that we would never get out of being stuck. But see, God said that His promise is He will complete the good work He began in us, which means if you walk away in the middle of the chiseling, He doesn't throw you away. He waits for you to be ready for the next step, the next painful time you may be willing to fall and get back up, the next hardship that comes up in your business, the next move you're afraid to make because you're so scared, the next step that you're scared of making because that person who you thought was making it all possible, the person you lost, the parent you lost, the child you lost, the spouse that you lost, I'm here to tell you those people were chiseled into your life for a reason. And it was to help you become a better you. And what they gave you should help you to take that step forward and realize that your label should be, yes, I can, and yes, I will, instead of I can't without them, because that's not who they set you up to be. Those people set you up to go forward and use everything, good, bad, and indifferent, that they brought into your life. My mama didn't bring everything good into my life. My daddy definitely didn't bring everything good into my life, but he also didn't bring all bad. And I learned very quickly in life that there are things you learn about people. Some people teach you who you want to be, and some people teach you what you don't want to be. Those are lessons. Those are opportunities for the chiseling to be done, to fine-tune you into everything that God has for you. Does that still mean that you're never going to get it wrong just because maybe that's what you want? No, because when you say you want it, When you say, I'm here for it, when you say, go ahead, God, use me, understand that doesn't mean the path is going to be easy. It just is less lonely when you know He's there walking it with you. That's my message to you. My message to you is, He who began a good work in your will carry it on to completion until the day. God says, even when you walk away from me, I'm still here. Maybe you've never known me. I'm still here. Maybe you're like, no, I just can't believe that there is this God, that this thing with Jesus, this guy really came down, died on the cross for me. Yeah, this thing with raising the third day. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. I just don't know. Well, this one I'm going to tell you. Believing it is in the history books. Okay, it's there. It is there. But here is the deal. I'm going to say it again. I say it every single time. You can do this life without God and at the end be without God. Your choice. But Molly, what if you're wrong? What if there isn't that? Molly, what if there's not a heaven? Molly, what if this is all bunk? Well, I'm going to tell you something. Who's taking the bigger risk here? Me believing that Jesus died for my sins and that He wants to direct my path and He wants me to love others and help others and keep sharing and know that one day I'm going to be in His arms one day. Is it that or an eternal hell where I'm not going to be there? I'm not going to be with the loved ones who believed. I'm not. In the name of not one. Who's in a worse place? Personally, I think you're the one taking the gamble. Because for me, if it's not, it's not. But if I'm right, and you don't accept this message, you're going to walk alone and in pain for the rest of your life. And you're going to let those labels dictate your life. And I'm going to tell you, that's not what you need. God gives me the power every day. And by the way, some days I wake up and I've already put a new label on myself. Oh, well, Molly, you didn't get on the treadmill today. Well, you're so much for wanting to be healthy, Molly. There you are. You're a loser. Your husband can walk every single day, but you're the loser in that category. No. God said you can still go up there and get on the treadmill. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. I may not be the person who's perfect, and I may get it wrong, and my message may not always be right. You can guarantee it's always from the heart. But I am a child and a grown adult now. A grown adult now who still fights with labels. I still sometimes find myself binding myself up in a jail to keep me there. I'm not going to be Satan's pawn in that. I'm not going to serve the devil there. I'm not. Sometimes it's painful and scary to rip those labels off because I know, well, you might see yourself as a loser, but it's been there so long. You're like, Molly, it's taken root. It's taken root, Molly. That's what it's taken root. It's not easier to be a loser in name only or in action. That takes work too. But the benefit of saying I'm not and I won't be, and that's not what I was put on earth here for, and you may not know what that looks like for you, but you never will if you don't seek it. If you don't say, what has God given me and where am I supposed to take this? I want the best for you, and so does God. But just because I want it and He wants it, man, you got to step up and take it. You got to step up and live it. You got to step up and say, even when it's hard, I am not going to be what I've been telling myself for years. And as far as those people who want to label you, cut down the noise. Shut off the radio of negativity and you keep doing you and being the best you that you can be. And no, that's not going to be perfect. But it's a lot lighter when you rip those labels off. It's a lot lighter when you can go out there with the confidence that that's right, you are still here. God has a plan for you. He's not done with you yet. So go forth and teach the people around you. Teach them that you will never give up on you. Stop letting people put you in your own personal jail, in your own personal cell of negativity and labels that do not benefit you. And do better. And when you fall down, get back up. Because without you wanting to do the work, there is no trophy in this life for those labels you're putting on yourself that are going to get you nowhere but stuck in the quicksand of negativity and not being productive. And is that really what you want? Do you really want people to say, well, she's never really done anything with their life? Or do you want them to say, she may not have gotten everywhere she wanted to go, but man, she never quit trying. I will give it to her. That girl, that guy, he had some tenacity. He fell down. He didn't get it right. But let me tell you something. He came back every single time. He was always looking to be better, to do what you were here to do. So do it. It's okay to apologize to your kids. It's okay to be tough on them. It's okay to not try to make everything better for them. I know you want to. I did too. But I'm here to tell you that even my boys for 30 and 37 years have been through some pretty tough things in their life. But do you know what I'm proudest about? That they always get back up. Because I want to believe that they got that part from me. That no matter what it is, I always watched my mom get back up. I always watched my mom. My mom said we weren't going to have enough money. My mom went out and got another job. My mom was never too proud to say, this is the truth. The one thing my boys will tell you is Mama will speak the truth. You may not like it, but I will speak it. Sometimes the people in Avon don't like what I have to say, but it is the truth. It is my truth. And sometimes the people who follow me in this business say, they look to me. They look to me, Molly, what do you think? And sometimes the truth is not pretty. But you know what? I let them know they're never alone. As long as God gives me another breath, as long as I'm here, do you ever think that maybe during all those times you're like, I'm not sure if I really like that Molly girl. I'm not really sure. But you keep showing back up? Maybe I'm that somebody that God put in your life. So he's not only helping me by getting me back up, but he's helping you. He's helping you know that you're not alone in the getting back up. You're not alone in the sadness. You're not alone in the mourning. You're not alone in the failures. You're not alone in wanting to do things that are not right for you. But we keep getting back up together, right? That's what we do here. Every Tuesday you coming back or you're visiting that YouTube channel of mine going, okay, which talk about today that I needed? Which talk about today? I'm here for it. How about you? 2024. Let's remove those labels. Let's move on. Talk soon.